Hello everyone, welcome back to 3 News Now. I'm Stephanie Haney. Today is Thursday, September 9th. Thank you for being here for the top stories from WKYC.com and our WKYC app. Today we are learning more information about when people first realized that something was wrong with the whole family. This is the family involved in what investigators believe to be an apparent murder-suicide in Avon Lake. We're now learning that on Tuesday, 46-year-old Heidi Hull was supposed to be on a morning conference call for work, and her children, 9-year-old Garrett and 6-year-old Grant, should have been in school, but that is not what happened for the whole family. Instead, police found a scene inside their Avon Lake home where investigators believe that 50-year-old Jeffrey Hull killed his family and then himself. Avon Lake Schools Superintendent Bob Scott told 3 News that the community is absolutely devastated, the staff is heartbroken, and the community is heartbroken. He says that they knew something was wrong when the Hull children didn't show up to school on Tuesday and the family didn't notify the district's absence hotline. Students and staff in the Avon Lake area are still in shock, according to him. He says that grief counselors were immediately dispatched to all campuses in the Avon Lake School District and that teachers have been given special instructions to help students deal with this terrible, terrible tragedy. He said no matter how devastated they are, they do have to be there for the kids, and there are mental health professionals on hand. What we now know, Avon Lake Police Lieutenant Sean Bockelman told 3 News, is that they believe that Jeffrey Hull shot his wife and their 2 children and one of the 2 family dogs before taking his own life. This incident is still under investigation, of course. Our thoughts are with the family, friends, and loved ones of the whole family. The Avon Lake Detective Bureau has also brought in the Ohio Bureau of Criminal Investigation for help as this investigation moves forward. Now today we heard from Dr. Bruce Vanderhoff, who is the new director for the Ohio Department of Health. He held a press conference talking about the surge of COVID-19 cases, which is being attributed to the Delta variant right now. He compared what's happening now in early September to early July. In early July, we saw daily new COVID cases of 200 and 300. That is a big difference for what we're seeing now. He says today we're seeing 20 times that. We also continue to see rising numbers of Ohioans testing for COVID-19 and increased positivity rates, and that the 7-day average is now at 13.3% for the positivity rate. Now to contrast that with July, the positivity rate was 1.3%. Here's some context to go along with the COVID-19 numbers, which we'll give to you in just a moment. Statewide, in hospitals, 1 in 7 people hospitalized in Ohio has COVID-19. 1 in 4 in the intensive care unit is there fighting COVID-19. That includes more than 3,000 total patients with COVID-19 and more than 800 in the ICU. We'll get to those exact numbers for today in just a moment. In rural hospitals, 1 in 3 patients has COVID-19, and half of all patients in the ICU have COVID-19. Now, when we compare numbers to July, the number of patients admitted with COVID-19 was in the 200s, with only 60 to 70 people in the ICU. Dr. Vanderhoff said today, just a week ago, he was saying that he was troubled by more than 2,500 patients in the hospital. That number has now grown by more than 22%. That's just in the last week, in the last 7 days. He says the hospital surge is largely driven by unvaccinated Ohioans and a wave of cases from the dangerous, highly contagious Delta variant. Now, he's saying that we're seeing 20 times the number of cases we saw in July. Well, today it's more than 20 times the number of cases we saw in July, because even at that high end with 300 daily cases, 20 times 300 is 6,000 cases. Well, today, the number of new COVID-19 cases reported to the Ohio Department of Health, 7,897, nearly 7,900 new cases. The total number of deaths now confirmed in Ohio is at 21,020, and right now 3,178 people currently hospitalized being treated for COVID-19. We saw a big increase in that number yesterday, a big jump. Today we are 34 more than we saw yesterday. And of those 3,178 people who are in the hospital being treated for COVID-19, right now 873 of them being treated in an intensive care unit. Now, as we see these numbers rising, yes, people are vaccinated against COVID-19, but a big chunk of Ohioans are not vaccinated against COVID-19, and that is the situation that is leading the CDC to say now that even fully vaccinated people in some settings need to be wearing a mask. Well, people seem to have forgotten how to do that. We have an article on WKYC.com from the Cleveland Clinic. It's got everything you need to know about your mask questions, how often you need to clean your mask, who should be wearing a mask, where, when, but also how to wear a mask properly. I made a video on the WKYC YouTube page earlier this week on Monday about how to wear a mask properly. Excuse me, it was on Monday, it was on Tuesday, but it was earlier this week how to properly wear your mask, and told through the lens of how to not wear a mask. And we see some funny ones out there, right? We see the people dangling it off the ear. We see the people who are half masking with their nose hanging out. That's not how you wear a mask. You need to have your nose covered, your mouth covered. You want it to extend under your chin, no big gaps on the sides. Still comfortable enough that you can breathe, and make sure that it's secured by loops or ties, typically around your ears. If you want to check that out, it's on WKYC.com. It's also on the WKYC YouTube page. I also tweeted it out. You can see it at _Stephanie Haney. Now, with masks being required in some places, again, the city of Columbus now requiring masks, other places are choosing to require proof of a COVID-19 vaccine, and the latest restaurant to do that here in the Northeast Ohio area is Mojo in Cleveland Heights. They have announced a new COVID-19 policy. They say that if you want to come there to eat and drink at their establishment, you have to show proof of a COVID-19 vaccine. They say that they take the health and well-being of their guests and staff seriously. They'll continue to do so until this pandemic of the unvaccinated is under control. Now, last week, Felice Urban Cafe, which is in Cleveland's Larchmere neighborhood, announced it's requiring proof of a COVID vaccine or a test within 72 hours showing that you're negative for COVID-19. So those are the new policies in those places. Now, this decision by Mojo and Felice Urban Cafe is after lots of colleges and universities in the area are requiring students and faculty and staff to be fully vaccinated against the virus prior to the end of the fall semester. So they're giving people some time to comply. We're seeing these different rules play out in different places. And several Northeast Ohio music venues have also said that you either have to be vaccinated or have proof of a recent COVID-19 test. If you want to know the latest information about what mandates are in place where, since they do vary from place to place because we don't have a comprehensive state mandate at this point, all you have to do is text the word mandate to 216-344-3300. Again, that's the word mandate, MANDATE, to 216-344-3300, and we will send you a list of the most up-to-date information about which mandates are in place at schools, venues, stores, and institutions across Northeast Ohio. That includes COVID-19 vaccination mandates and masking mandates. Very comprehensive place for you there. Now, prior to this week, NFL teams had not been requiring COVID-19 vaccinations, but now there are a few teams that are requiring a COVID-19 vaccination or a negative COVID test in order to go to a game. We now know, as of today, the Seahawks are requiring all fans 12 and older to provide proof of a COVID-19 vaccine or a negative COVID test within 72 hours of attending a game at the field in Seattle. Also, the city of New Orleans, where the Saints play, is requiring fans 12 and older to provide proof of at least one dose of a COVID vaccine or a negative test within 72 hours to attend a Saints game at home. And the Las Vegas Raiders also requiring all fans to show proof of COVID-19 vaccination to attend home games. Will be interesting to see what the other teams in the NFL do, whether they follow suit. Of course, we'll be watching what the Cleveland Browns do to see if that becomes something that people have to manage here in Ohio. Speaking of the Cleveland Browns, our 3 News sports analyst Ben Axelrod wrote a beautiful column on WKYC.com today about how fans should savor this 2021 season and how, come what may, it's not necessarily often, and we shouldn't take for granted that we have a football team that's in the conversation for playoffs, for the Super Bowl. It hasn't happened in my adult life. It hasn't happened in a lot of people's adult lives that we've had a conversation around our football team seriously being considered to take it all the way through the playoffs. And last season was a beautiful season, 11-5 regular season, winning the AFC divisional round. Just winning through and making it to the AFC divisional round. Just absolutely incredible. And Ben talks about some of his memories. He was there at that first win, by the way, the win over the Jets with Baker Mayfield, giving us that first win in, 635 days. He said he was there with his then girlfriend, now wife, Tori, and she had gotten those tickets, by the way, free tickets, because she had attended a yoga class at First Energy Stadium. They're not giving out free tickets for attending yoga classes these days. If you take a look at StubHub, you will see that. It's a pretty penny to get yourself to a Browns game now. But listen, no matter what happens this season, we will be feeling something, and a lot of it will be excitement, and sometimes they're probably going to lose too. But that's okay, because the excitement is part of the ride, and that's what Ben's column is all about, and I can't say it any better than he can. So head to WKYC.com, read that column from Ben. It is a real love letter to Cleveland sports, because hey, even when the team loses, even when the team was losing every game, we still show up in orange and brown on Sundays, right? That is just what people in Northeast Ohio do. That's what Ben says, and it's true. So do yourself a favor. Again, more required reading before the Sunday season opener against the Kansas City Chiefs if you love the Cleveland Browns. And one note to end on here, Burger King is doing something new. They are banning 120 artificial ingredients from their menu, and they're doing it something they call, it's their real food movement. They want to offer people choices with real food. They say that guest expectations are changing, and they want to be able to provide for those expectations. So they're banning 120 ingredients that are not real, they say, from their food. And they're also partnering this with Keep It Real meals that they have combined with celebrities to curate these meals. So here are the meals that they've come up with. The Cornell Haynes Jr. meal, that's Nelly. He chooses the flame grilled Whopper with cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, onions, mayo, and ketchup, small fries, and a Sprite. The Larissa Machada meal, the Brazilian singer and actress, that includes an Impossible Whopper, my choice, at Burger King, with lettuce, tomato, pickles, ketchup, and mustard with small fries and a small Sprite. I would sub that out for a frozen Coke. I don't know if that falls under the real food category. I'm going to say it probably doesn't, but probably not any worse than a Sprite, right? Okay. And then the Chase Hudson meal, or Lil Huddy. This is a TikTok star. His meal is the hand-breaded spicy chicken. I have a word on that. Spicy chicken with cheese, 4-piece mozzarella sticks, and a 16-ounce chocolate shake. Now, here's my thing about the spicy chicken. Great for them. They're doing something fun. They're getting the word king in there. But listen, for people who don't eat meat, we use that apostrophe to know that it's not meat. So if you're going to call something CH''KING, I thought it was a vegan chicken sandwich, but it's not. It is a hand-breaded, real chicken sandwich. They just wanted to get the word king in there. Anyway, my point to Burger King is save the apostrophe for the things that don't have meat in them. Please, you're confusing us, people who don't eat meat. All right, that's it for your 3 News Now update today for Thursday, September 9th. I will see you back here tomorrow one more time this week before the Browns take on the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday with more 3 News Now.